Oh, yeah. This is what I am. Here, I'll flash some shit up on the screen for you. There's some of the books I wrote. Now, I'm writing book 2 of Portals. That's the one in the center with the young lady with her hands raised up. After this one, I'll be writing book 2 of Silver and Smith. Paperback writer, which is what I want to be when I grow up. So, what I'm doing today, let's put me back on the screen with my big old noggin. You see in the background there the Kindle Direct Publishing? Here's to you. Thank you for joining me. And I also want to remind everybody that I am on my podcast Right Night is on all kinds of things from iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer Podcast. It's everywhere, okay? It's everywhere. And hopefully it'll be up on Pandora and Amazon Audible soon, too. But anyhow, I'm going to show everybody how to self-publish on Kindle Direct Publishing. Probably even have this up on YouTube. Feel free to comment, like, share, follow, all the damn things that people want you to do when you watch their shit. Anyhow, and Travis Tavern Talk is an adult channel, adult content, adult language, which means I say naughty words. And smoke pipes, not the crack pipe or anything. Not even like a bong. It's straight up nice smelling tobacco. And I drink. And I have pussy. As in cats, like this one. Come here. Lean in, there he is, there he is. Okay, guys. Now that the song is done, let's move into this. So, first things first, you want to go to kdp.amazon.com. You want to open your account. Now, right up top when you open it, you have a few options. A bookshelf, reports, community, marketing. We're going to we're on our bookshelf right now. So, right up top, even if you have other books like I do, and I have a couple dozen books under a couple different pen names, I'm going to start with paperback. They put Kindle ebook first because that's what they make the most money off. I find it fine and easy to just start with a paperback, and then after that it'll have it where you can transfer that over, and it'll bring over a lot of the information to your Kindle ebook. You might see cats leaping. I'm back in the microwave in case this one is about to jump. Come on. Come on. There you go. Good kitty. Okay, so let's start with paperback. Now, this is a book that I just finished writing 2 or 3 weeks ago, sent it off to the editor, just got it back 2 or 3 nights ago, and I've been doing the final cleanup on it. So, and you can kind of see what's on the screen. Book title is Demons and Daggers. Now, something else I want to check here is, and I'm going to open up this in a separate tab. Actually, let me do it this way. Since this is the second book in the series, I want to make sure it's getting the same treatment as the first book. I want to make sure everything is lined up and right. So I'm going to pop over here to the first one just to verify details. Now, you notice I had to pull it up with the first tab. Okay, so I've worked the series as a subtitle. So I want to do Portals, Book 2. And of course the series name is Portals. Can you get out of my light, cat? Come on, come on. Go find a thing to do. Oh man, I gotta turn on my fan here too. Get him warm in here with all the excitement. Series number 2, edition number, it's optional. You can see I got my auto fill. What are you? God damn it, cats. Why are you knocking shit off? I don't want to circle around. I want to keep going on this. Contributors. I don't have any contributors. Description. Now, this is something I did write a little description for the back of the book. But let's give it a different description here. And they have things like, why do book descriptions matter? This is basically once your buyers see it on Amazon or whatever, and keep in mind with expanded distribution in Amazon, you're going to see it on Books A Million, you're going to see it on Barnes and Noble, you're going to see it in a lot of different places. They see the cover, they go, ooh, what's that? This is the first thing they read. This is what makes them open it up, read those first couple pages, and look further into it, and leads to the purchase. So you want a good description right here. Oh, well, let's actually put a cursor there, right? So much for perfection, right? Torrance, a barbarian, and the kid. Both came from Earth a few months ago. They fought. No, better word. They defeated an undead horde and settled into lives they thought meaning and purpose. In the demon lands, in the demon front, a battleground with otherworldly invaders to the south, east, erupted into conflict and darkened the sky with dancing green lights. The two once again join forces to save the world that they adopted as their own. Another person, Nathan. Carved also setting off a chain of events that drew the attention of a demon half-breed. He finds his own instincts to run or to turn and face his own fears. Three companions fight against invading demon army. I think I already said this. Hold on, let's pull this down so we can see it. Save the world. And conquering land. Struggling against their own inner demons. Be defeated by the internal enemy, one from another realm, or overcome both. That'll do, pig. I own the copyright necessary holding thing. Keywords are very important, and you'll see I'm going to come down here and grab some of these keywords also. Now, we don't need this keyword right here, but let's grab some of these other keywords and throw them right up here. Keywords are very important, and keep in mind with the keywords here, you can put multiples in one sentence. You don't have to just put one per box. Now that last one is for a contest I entered that I've heard nothing back from. And I will also follow this up. There is more to that too. Oh wow, I totally forgot an F there. Now, let's grab some of this because Cambion, Druid, and in this last one I'm trying to think of specific things that relate to this book, which I can't think of. I'm going to go and leave that blank for the sake of brevity. So we're going to go with fantasy and magical realism. I'm going to kind of choose the same categories here. Fiction, and you can see it's just drop lists. Pop over to fantasy. We're going to throw one in general. They allow you two. So we had general and then fiction and magical realism. So we're going to pop down and drop that too. And there is a way later to go communicate with them and bring up more adult language, situations, or images inappropriate for children under 18 years of age. It's a fantasy novel. Hard to say with that one. I'm going to say no. Considering what people let their kids play. I'm going to go ahead and choose assign a free KDP ISBN. My bad. Now something else I'm going to see right here is this. I'm going to go grab that and I'm going to pop it. Oh, hold on. Let me go all the way back to the top of my book. I have a place for it right here. We're just going to throw it right in there and click save real quick. What else do I have there? And close some extra stuff down. Okay. You're live on Amazon, date will be used. That's fine. Print options. I want it black and white interior cream paper. I want it on 5x8. Select a different size. Bleed, no bleed. I want that cover, considering the cover, what'd I go with the last one? Went with glossy, so we're going to stick with what I had before. Okay, upload paperback manuscript. I'm just going to go grab this here. That's the folder I want to use. That's not the folder I want to use. There we go. Just so there's no issues. Let's go ahead and upload that. This is going to take a moment here. I'm on a slow internet connection. I don't trust that that went through, because I don't see it here. I think I hid something that canceled it. Well, while it's doing that, I'll pop right over here and grab another bourbon. I do want to let you guys know I have multiple series out there. Downfall series. I'll be writing book 2 in the very beginning of 2021, starting on that. That is epic fantasy, so it's much longer than this book here. This is kind of like just kind of a fun, fast adventure. It brings 3 people from this world into the fantasy world. Okay, so I'm going to launch their cover creator, because frankly I've always had a problem with their PDF thing. Perhaps if you have a different skill set than me, you'll find that easier. But this is how I've ended up to doing it for pretty much all of mine. Real quick, if you look, it tells you the guidelines. I believe they want a JPEG, I believe. So I'm going to grab that right there. And again, if you take your time and read through this process, it really walks you through it. Holds your hand and guides you. It's a relatively easy process, especially after you've done it just once or twice. Generally once. And if you take your time and read, in case you didn't know, you should read, you're going to be fine. You're going to figure this out without really any issue at all. Hey, oh my God, what are my cats doing? Hey, come on, stop. My big cat decided to pick on my other cat, and normally the big cat's pretty chill. This will take a moment to go through. As I was saying, though, this is book 2 in this series. You can see, oh, there we go. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to choose the design with the least amount of crap. Which, if you scroll through, you're going to see there's a couple different things you could do. But that's totally not what I wanted. Choose design. Let's back this up. Start over. We're going to start over. You get to see me screw up. Choose this design. This is the one I want. Now, if you're uploading your own cover that you've pre-made or had somebody else pre-make, it is a simple matter of coming in here and just clicking on each thing and pulling it out. We're going to skip that step so it pulls that out of it. So in theory, let's preview this real quick. Make sure we're doing okay. It's going to give us a decent cover. If not, I'll fix it and you'll see just basically how to fix the screw-ups. Now again, as I've said, I'm on a limited internet basis. So you're going to see this sort of thing take a little extra. There's my cover. That's the cover I built on my computer earlier tonight for Portals Book 2. There's no extra crap. The UPC will automatically put in here. Let's go ahead and save and submit that. Okay, so again, we got our ISBN. Got our publication date as basically whatever they make it. Got all that. Just kind of checking it as I go. Now, it's going to require for you to launch the previewer. And you want to do this anyway. Screen size might be too small. That's just my screen settings. So, again, this will take a moment for me. It'll be much quicker for you if you're on really any kind of real internet. I literally use a mobile hotspot for all my internet needs. So it's a little more challenging for me. If you're on cable or Fios or any kind of reasonable speed internet, you're going to be fine and zip right through this. So as I was saying, this series is my second series in this world. This is a world I started creating decades ago. Published my first book in 2016 in this world. Though actually this world kind of branches across many of my stories. The Silver and Smith, a lot of the cycle books that I have out there. You can find all this stuff on Amazon. And it all ties together through, well, largely through Jack Tucker, who is the time traveler. And he does appear pretty much in every book that I have in some small way. He is not a primary character, but he does have his own series, Journal of a Stranger. And you can see that right over here in these books. On the right hand side, you'll see Journal of a Stranger and Journal of a Stranger Volume 2 Beginnings. So Journal of a Stranger 1 is very much a diary format thing for Jack Tucker. And Journal of a Stranger 2, he goes back into his origins, and that's much more story-like than the first one. The first one is a very individualistic. Entry is a single thought or a whole story, depending on what he's talking about. And by the way, the other books, down the left you can see my 27 Thoughts series on life and social DIY. On the right you can see the steampunk cycles, as well as a few of other books that I've done under pen names such as Joe Wilson or Ada Dickey is in the bottom left, and a card game that I designed, and a few other things, including the Simpleton series that there will be more coming out of down the line. But the 3 or 4 you see across the top, The Downfall, Portals, Silver and Smith, and Journal of a Stranger, are my primary series. So feel free to check them out. And by the way, also, please feel free to come find me on twitch.tv/TravisTavernTalk. This is where I do a lot of my work on air live. You get to watch me write and create these novels and these worlds. Okay, there, we've got this up. Now you can see the bleed is good. That's the red lines. So I'm just going to kind of flip through it. You see the UPC does not cross over with my publishing branding. And I'm going to look. I want a blank page. Good. Portals is on the right. Why doesn't it have the font I want? I want everything to start on the right hand page. That's my preference. Have the spacer pages. Chapter 2 starting on the right hand page again. And this might be a very long video because I'm going through it detail for detail. And you're going to see there's going to be points in time what I set up in my Word document, which is the software I use to write books, might not translate perfectly. And there's times you have to go make adjustments, especially once you get to the ebook format. And you can see over here there's a quality check, an auto quality check. They remove non-printable markup from your document. So I'm guessing this is that title page that I was questioning. And it's telling you make sure all this shit is right. So I'm going to kind of click through this pretty quick. Good. Again, you see chapter 9 starting on the right hand page, which is what I wanted. Wait, where was chapter 10? Okay, good. 10, 11. You do want to make sure you take your time and look at this. Make sure it is right. Make sure it looks right. I've published quite a few of them. See, that's 13. I'm making sure 12 comes before 13 in the book, not just in the real world. 13. If you click too fast, you zoom right past it. You might realize you named the chapters wrong. And I like to make sure that is correct. 16 on the right. 17. 18. 19. 20. This thing only has 28 chapters and an epilogue, so we're almost through this. Very excited about this. I got a lot of great feedback from this. A lot of my beta readers, my editor, and others with the advanced copies have been very excited about it. And because of that, I'm very excited, because whenever you're writing and you're publishing, you're very nervous about how people accept it. It gets to a point where you get a thicker skin and you kind of shrug and go, well, I know what I'm doing at this point. But I think all of us have that moment of stage fright right before we click go. Okay, about the author, you know what I've realized? Okay, let's prove that. So now here it's showing the printing cost. Okay, that's how much it costs to print. We're going to click save. We're going to give it another moment to go. Oh, well, that was quick. Nice. Okay, I want all territories. I have worldwide rights. This is my book. Now, something else I want to do is I want to make sure I match this with my previous book. So I'm going to, I see I have the other one at $11.99. I'm going to match this one with it. I do want expanded distribution. 7 other marketplaces. I'm going to allow it to auto choose those prices, basing it on, well, here's my philosophy, guys and gals and gender neutrals and non-binaries. Amazon's put a lot of money into their software. They generally know what the hell they're doing. So I'm going to trust them with it. And you can see in this marketplace, I did the same thing. I went with their numbers. They spent way more resources than I have available to me to do this. So it's in my, now once you've done that, it's going to ask you, do you want to do your ebooks? Because bottom line is they make a lot of money off the ebooks. And I have seen a lot of folks who are publishing making more money off their ebooks by far than they're making off the other books. So you can see it transfers over a lot of the information here. So we're on the Kindle ebook details. You can see it right there. and it transferred a lot of the information. Now, something I've noticed it does here is does not put my middle initial. I want my middle initial in there. Now, also, this is something to be very aware of. If you're doing these in the same order as me, it just crammed all that shit together. Why it does this? Well, I assume because it's a douchebag. So, you can write a totally different description here. I'm not going to do this at this point in time. So, defeated undead horde. And I want to say I have a break somewhere in here too. It is midnight my time, and I worked a long day, so pardon me if I'm a little bleary-eyed. I want to say this here. Let's break it there. Own the copyright necessary. Publishing right. It is not public domain. It has moved all that stuff over. It has brought the same categories. Here's what I'm going to recommend. Grab some different categories here. So what I'm telling you is at this point in time, I'm going to go back over here. Where's my portals? That's not that portals. The other portals. Book 1. And I'm going to go check the KDP one. And again, try to match it. Wait, what am I on? Yeah, the first one. Just making sure. Okay, so ebook details. And for those of you that don't know, I am live on Twitch right now doing this, and one of my viewers, Scribbler Society, who is another author who streams online, is out for the night. Let's tell him goodbye. Richard, you have a great night, man. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate you hanging out, buddy. So I'm scrolling down here to check the ebook categories, which I did. Fantasy, general, and magic realism. It's the same exact thing. Let's see if I can find some other ones. So let's pop down here to fantasy, because the more variety you can get, the better. We'll go with dark fantasy. Not a lot of choices, is it? Let's take that away. What is that? Y'all? Oh, I know what that is. Not necessarily what I'm looking for this particular story. Let's see if we can get some other stuff, though. You know, I think I'm going to come up here and just go with action adventure. This, in theory, should give us 4 different categories we're working with. And as I said, maybe in a later video, I'll show you a way to get up to 10. It basically comes down to contacting Amazon to have them do it manually. So this is children's book range. I'm not going into that. Ready to release my book now. We'll tell them yes to that. And again, bear with me. Enable DR. Okay, so DRM. A lot of people are like, what is this all about? So DRM stands for Digital Rights Management, and it's intended to inhibit unauthorized distribution of the Kindle file of your book. In other words, so somebody can't just digitally steal it and put it somewhere and sell it and make money off your blood and sweat and tears. Some authors want to encourage readers to share their work, choose not to have it applied to their book. If you choose DRM, customers will still be able to lend the book to another user for a short period and can also purchase the book as a gift for another, but they can't just take it and flop it around. I'm going to enable it. So again, it tells you the formats I'll accept it in, and I'm going to upload. That right there. This might take a moment. Bear with me. Good to see everybody popping in. Appreciate you doing that. There we go. That didn't take too long. Now, launch cover creator. Oh, here's something I forgot to do. So I'm going to pop over here and do this real quick. I made, and by the way, it tells you right here, use cover creator, use a cover you already have, JPEG or TIFF only. We're going to do that. But first, something I need to do is grab my cover that I already have in the program that I tend to use, throw it up on the screen for you. Well, maybe. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is just simply, quite easily, crop this down to a Kindle book cover, which means pretty much just grabbing the front cover. Just going to crop it to selection right there, maybe. There we go. Now I'm going to save it. It's really this simple. But in my title, I want to make it very distinctive for myself. So I'm putting in there Kindle cover. Okay? So now let's grab this, go over to cover art, put that up. By the way, give this a second to upload and I'll show you something very significant right here. The other book series in this world takes place 30 years before these, because this world that I'm in is kind of a post-apocalyptic situation. It's a medieval fantasy post-apocalyptic, not poke-apocalyptic. Look right here, spell check, 21 possible spelling errors. And you can just view them right here, right now. It brings you right over to them. It's really a handy thing. See, then our review found no spelling errors, even though it just said it had 21. Usually what I find for my books is that is the unique names and stuff. So what I'm looking at right here, it says ISBN. I'm going to go take that same ISBN that it gave me for the previous, for the paperback. I'm going to grab that. Hold on, just that. And put it right in here. So it's sharing that. I also want to put Talk of the Tavern Publishing Group, which is my personal publishing group. By the way, if you're looking for a good publisher, you might want to check out Dreampunk Press. That's great that way. Okay, so this is going to allow me to download a Mobi, which is a Kindle file, or a couple other ways of doing it. And if you just, again, read, if you're a fucking author, you should be able to read some shit. But it wants you to preview it. So we're going to set up that previewer. You will find yours goes significantly faster than mine does. So there's my front cover. Again, it's not bringing that over. You'll find in this, now these are all hyperlinks. It's one particular reason I put a table of contents in, because it's required for the ebook. And you'll find in this it doesn't put those spaces, it doesn't put those blank pages in that you see in the paperback, because they're not required, they're not necessary for this, for the ebook. And this is usually where I find issues. If I'm going to have an issue, I have to go create a separate file just for the ebook. And I'm just waiting for an issue to pop up here. Almost every time I find an issue with it. This will take a few moments. Alrighty. Again, you do not want to flip through this too quickly. You want to make sure you take your time and go through it. And actually look for the errors. I tend to recognize errors because I have done this a couple dozen times. There's Talk of the Tavern there, right there on that glass. Not wearing the shirt. I did just put in a new order for some of the merch that I have on Twitch. Looking forward to getting some shirts and stickers and a new coffee mug. You might hear the voice from the other room. We have more coffee mugs than we need, to put it gently. I will be in forthwith.
4:30, got it.
Let's hope not. Give it 2 hours sleep before I have to get up and go do a thing. Oh, look, we're not even halfway through. Oh my God. I hope you bastards have a better internet connection than I do. There are a few changes that I think I wanted to make in this. I'm going to have to go take a look at that. The bottom line with KDP, whether it's the paperback or the ebook, you can go re-upload the file. So if you find errors later or something that you meant to remove or add, you can do it again later. As long as it is minor changes, it will not automatically create another edition of your book. But if it is major changes, it will absolutely create another edition of your book. Something to keep in mind. You want to put up the absolute cleanest copy that you can. We're all eager to put these things out. We're all want to get it out there, get it done, get it over with, move to the next project. And it might be because, you just quick, cover your eyes, throw it out there, run away and see what people, so you don't have to worry about what people think. Or it might be, hey, I'm ready for the next thing. Whatever the reason. Well, we tend to be impatient. I do, at least. If you don't, good for you. You're a better person than I am. Almost done. What are we up to? Chapter 20? There we go, chapter 20. It's looking good. I'm very, very pleased and surprised so far. But we'll see if it gives me some kickback errors when we're done. Almost done with this. 3/4. More than 3/4. Appreciate all the viewers hanging out on Twitch right now. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, guys. Here's to you. Let's they're being very understanding as I'm ignoring the chat box and not responding to all their comments that are scrolling past at incredible speeds. There you go. If anybody's a speed reader, you can read the whole book right now as I'm doing this. I'll even shift it so you can see the whole thing. Almost done. Last couple chapters. My editor said this is my best book yet. Very pleased with the feedback that she gave me. It also really set up book 3 too. I like a standalone book, but you definitely, if you're going to read them all, I like it to connect and you see how one goes to the next. Okay, that's it. We're looking good on that. Let's go back to book details right up here in the upper left. Doesn't seem to be on the screen there, but it is there. Okay, so I've gone through and done all that. We're going to save and continue and move on to pricing. And here's what I'm going to tell you about pricing. Don't underprice yourself. Understand, and I am going to enroll in KDP Select. And how do I enroll? Why do I want to enroll? All that information is right up here. Click on that, check it out. Territories, I am going worldwide. And I'm going to check and see what they say right here for what the fuck should I price this book. It is saying $2.69. Now something you'll see here, if I go to pricing over here, you'll see I went with $3.99 instead of $2.69. And I'm going to stick with it. I want to go 70%. I want to go 3.99. Because again, don't underprice yourself. If it's your first book, sure. Then maybe you change it up a little bit. But in the long run, people pay on perceived value. And if you underprice yourself too far, less people purchase. And you just saw me click publish your Kindle ebook. It's done. Congratulations. Been submitted. It can take up to 72 hours for your title to be available for purchase. And now you can see both these are in review. Okay? In review. So that's that. You cannot click on continue setup until they finish their review. This is the waiting point. At this point in time, they'll let you know if there's errors, if there's problems, etc., etc. So the bottom line is, I'm done for the night. That is pretty much that. And I know it took almost an hour. With your internet, it might be quicker. But with your experience, it might be quicker or not as quick. I do want to encourage you guys to, don't forget, you can find me as a podcast with Right Night, Talk of the Tavern, and Stealing for Survival, which is my Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game, tabletop role-playing game, that's set in this world that I'm writing in. So, feel free to check them out. They are all over the place, from Stitcher to Podchaser, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple, Spotify, Google, and so on and so forth. You can find me internationally, worldwide, and we do broadcast live on twitch.tv/Travis Tavern Talk. I put them up on YouTube afterwards. You can find me all over the place, guys. Come join me, say hello, let me know what you're doing, and I will give you the best advice, information, and support that I can. Okay, I think I am done. Everybody, you guys have a great night. Thank you for joining me. And I will talk to you very soon, I hope.